Hello. Uh, Today we will do the lab number 12, understanding computer hardware. In this lab, we will work with some computer hardware. Main goal is understanding computer hardware by performing this lab. We will learn about commands to display information about computer hardware, and the following task is using the commands to list hardware. First step is listening computer hardware. In this task, we will execute several commands to display our hardware configuration. Okay, the step number one is using the command ls-cpu in order to determine the type of CPU executes the ls-cpu commands. Okay, let's try to use our Ubuntu and write this command ls-cpu, and you can see this kind of lists like CPU mode, type order, socket model name, li, L2, L3, cache, and so on. You can see this kind of information. Step number two is being able to display CPU information can be important when trying to determine advanced of Linux features can be used in our system. And for the even more details about our CPUs, you can use this kind of command like proc CPU info files, and using these commands you can see more detailed information about our CPU. And here you will use the command hit command with -n option to list the first 20 lines of CPU info files. Okay, let's try to all right. Like you can use another number 5. In our case, use 20 lines of our commands, then slash and you write this kind of you write this kind of comments and see this kind of information like about processor, vendor ID, CPU, family, model, stepping, microcodes, cache size, and so on. Okay. Next step is in this step we work to discover how much RAM and subspace is being used and use the free command, and we use this kind of two commands. Like first one is free -m. Also you can see this kind of information about total used free, and in our case total is 64,422 used, and it means that used 9,513, and the free this kind of like 25,922. And also next command is free free -g, and also you can see information, this kind of information about totals, fee used, available, and so on. Next step is step number 4. To see that discovered and connected to PCI bus, you use ls PCI commands. Notice from this particle output below that many of devices connected to the system board are displayed. Okay, and let's try to write these commands. Just ls PCI, and also you can see this kind of information, and the output of the ls PCI commands can be helpful for identify the devices that are not supported by the Linux kernel. Some devices such as video cards may only provide basic functionality without installing driver software, but new distribution are repeatedly addressing the problem, and advanced hardware functionality is more commonly available in our nowadays. Okay, next one is step number 5. Here use ls PCI command with -k option and with this commands we can show the device along with the kernel driver and the model used. Okay, let's try to write these commands. ls PCI -k, and you can see the options. We can see the device along with the kernel drivers and models used. You can see also this kind of information. Okay, next step and step number 6 is use with this command we can attempt to list the USB connected devices like okay, let's try to write this command ls USB. Okay, and you can see. Okay, let's try one more time. USB. Okay. Next step is step number 7. With this step, we see the hardware functions, the Linux kernel usual loads and driver or models. Using these ls mod commands, we can view the currently loaded models. Okay, let's try to write, and I write this command, and you can see this kind of information. Particular output of this command is shown below. The first columns is the model name, and the second is the amount of memory used by this model, and the number of the used by column. See the show the how many other models are using this model. Okay, next step is step number 8, and here the system boards of many computers contains what is known as PIOs, basic input and output system management views, and so on. You can see some also here some commands like fdisk. Yeah, like fdisk command is useful for identifying the storage resource on our system, and with using some other commands. Okay, let's try. Let's try use this command with -l commands. Executes these commands to list these devices. The -ls option when which we add for these commands is list the partition tables for the specific devices and then exists. Like, okay, let's try to write these commands. Disk, fdisk, okay, you can see this kind of information. If no device are given, those mentioned in proc partition are used. Okay, with this count, you can see this kind of information like start, friends, box, system, ID, device, boot, and so on. Okay, in this lab 12, we understand some computer hardware. Okay, thank you.